Slovakia, Romania, Hungary, and Bulgaria, and also Poland. Farmers in these nations are staging huge protests. The reason they are going bankrupt because of Ukraine and stupid EU policies. To shield Ukraine from the Russian war, EU has imposed another war on its farmers. More details in the story. Hi and welcome, you're watching Outright. We tell you the right side of the story. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for such outright videos. Poland last week imposed a temporary ban on the imports of Ukrainian grain. The move came after angry farmers forced the Polish agriculture minister to resign. Farmers in Poland and mainly in Central and Eastern Europe are infuriated. The influx of cheap grain from Ukraine has undercut the prices of their produce. European consumers and countries are preferring cheap grain from Ukraine. They have simply abandoned the farmers from EU nations like Bulgaria, Poland, and Romania. The farmers in these nations are not able to find buyers and thus fast going bankrupt. But why is the grain from Ukraine so cheap? Because the EU has given Ukraine duty-free and quota-free access to Europe's agro market until June next year. On the other hand, the EU's own farmers have to face the bloc's tax regime. That's why Bulgaria farmers say they can't make money from growing sunflower seeds, the country's primary export item. Why? Because a 20-fold surge in the imports from Ukraine has forced prices down by nearly half. So, farmers in all these frontline EU nations are hitting the streets. The farmers' union leading these protests is Kopa Kozeka. It is alleging that different rules for farmers from the EU and Ukraine have caused huge market distortions. Bulgaria's agriculture minister Yavor Gechev recently said, "Instead of export corridors, our countries are becoming warehouses." Romanian farmers are worried they could soon witness a chain of bankruptcies of Romanian farmers. So now all these EU nations are coming together to gang up on EU and Ukraine to save their farmers. Officials from Poland, Slovakia, Romania, Hungary and Bulgaria, these 5 nations, wrote a letter to EU's chief Ursula von der Leyen to demand action on Ukraine's imports. They also demanded compensation for their farmers. Some of them also support reimposing tariffs on Ukraine to create a level playing field. The European Commission last month proposed support measures worth 56.3 million euros for affected farmers, but that is far less than enough. However, the shamelessness and thanklessness of Ukraine over this matter is quite anguishing. In a blanket statement given Wednesday, Ukraine declared all of these protests were due to political reasons. Denis Marchuk, deputy chair of the Ukrainian Agrarian Council or UAC, said, "The political nature of the European farmers' strikes is obvious. Ukraine sells some grain to Poland and this is not a massive amount." He also hinted that the oversupply of produce from Ukraine was not an issue and the protests are linked to the upcoming elections in the country. Going a step further, he lamented Poland for trying to hurt Ukrainian farmers. Excuse my French, but this is the height of shamelessness and selfishness. Ukraine now feels proud in victimizing itself on almost every issue that has nothing to do with the Russia-Ukraine war. EU farmers want their share of the market. For them, Ukraine's holy idea of fighting out Russia is alien, irrelevant, and a total sham. They are going bankrupt because of Ukraine and this US-controlled fancy lady, and they will not bow down to EU's diktats.